You've taken some celebrities with you on some trips. Why do that? And is it as risky as it sounds?
Is a way to basically get a bigger microphone and speak to the conditions of the ice and get people's attention. This was in 2005, and it was very difficult to get traction in the media. And I was lucky enough to be able to reach out to my friend Salma Hayek, who reached out to Jake Gyllenhaal, and we brought both of them up there. And just like this, we had all the major media showing up as well. And listen, this is a marketing job as much as anything else. You know, you need to put your best soldiers forward.
You clearly want them to have the experience, and that's the point. The point is to get opinion leaders to the places that you want to have conversations about with the general population. So how is that different from a trip that you would take on your own?
Well, it won't be a trip deep in the heart of the ice where you're in complete isolation and vulnerable to the elements. But giving them a taste of the ice is compelling enough. You can take people into that environment, and it feels so otherworldly, and it's overwhelming because it's so different than what we're accustomed to, and it resonates in people.
Conversations that you had with them, how did it go?
Well, the first thing that generally comes out of their mouth is, wow, it's really cold. So I took Orlando Bloom, who's my cousin, so that was a family business. But
you can kind of force him to go.
You know, he was keen. He's a good adventurer. He's a good athlete. So we went down to Antarctica, and he was on a scientific research icebreaker, and we spent a season in Antarctica, and I think it was in 2007 with him. There is nothing quite like that, you know, that tactile experience of being out there. And then you can speak to the cycles, and you can speak to what the locals are experiencing in the north, of course, or what scientists impart on you in the south. And having that immersive experience, I think, stays with you for life.
And these people have become ambassadors, really, in the conversation, because they certainly have talked about it since.
Yes, they have, yeah. I mean, look, some celebrities understand the great responsibility that they have and the great opportunity that they have as a mouthpiece for bigger subjects than just films in Hollywood. People look up to them. They're role models to many, especially the young. And these guys will be the voters of tomorrow.
We talk about this like it's so easy, like you're just packing up a bag and grabbing a tent and you're going there. We haven't really talked about how the times have been that you thought this wasn't such a good idea, or this might be my last trip, I might not be making it back.
Right.
There had to have been times like that.
Oh, there's times like that every time. No matter how much experience you have, I think the first time you're confronted with a really deep cold, and especially if you travel in the early season, when you start in the cold period, and temperatures can be 50, 55, 60 below. And
there's no surviving that for any period of time unprotected. At all?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, unprotected, all things being relative, but if you're not properly equipped, you will not survive very long in that environment. And being hit by that cold, it's very confronting.
I know that you prepare and double prepare for these things, but in a storm, you're going to lose equipment. Being surprised by something along the way has to happen.
Sure.
So is there more than one, where you really thought, no, I'm not coming back from that?
Well, I fell through the ice in the Arctic in -35. You know, the ice was a little thinner than I anticipated, and I just fell clean to my neck in the Arctic Ocean, 14,000 feet deep. And the only way out and to get out of it is to get down to your skivvies and change in -35 and do that in a jiffy. Funnily enough, the water actually is much warmer than the outside temperatures, because the water's at about -2 degrees. That's in seas, of course, and outside it's 35 C below. So, but you need to basically shed everything, get yourself into dry clothes very quickly before hypothermia sets in. But that's definitely a Kodak moment. It gives you the fear of God. I've been attacked by polar bears as well, so I've been, you know, by myself with full charge of an aggressive bear. That's also quite intimidating. But I've had the smaller things as well, you know, frozen, you know, frostbites on my toes that were compromising the expedition, and that very delicate decision of whether to keep going or abort mission. The Arctic will literally strip you down to the studs, and you will ask yourself, why am I here? Why do I choose to do this? And I will never make it. And then progressively it builds you back up, and ultimately it's a great metaphor for life. You know, it's one foot in front of the other, and keep walking, and that's the two laws of perseverance.
Making this journey to the North Pole without any outside support or aid is considered to be the world's toughest expedition. Copeland gets underway next February to do just that, and you can follow him on the web at SebastianCopelandAdventures.com. Now, from pictures of both poles to pictures of the lunar surface, why these images you're about to see are the first of their kind, and how you could own a piece of space history that made them.